Hello, greetings to all Pokemon fans. The latest Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet can now be played into your PC. So if you didn't know that this game can be played into PC, then it's the perfect video tutorial for you to watch, because this is an updated guide wherein you'll be able to play this game in 2023. So what are the files that are needed in order for you to play this game into your PC? So these are all the files that are needed. As you can see here in my desktop that I have highlighted, the game should be in XCI file format and that you have the updated version, so that you can be able to play all the latest updates on the game. So what you need also is that you installed the latest build of ryujinx emulator. As of recording this video tutorial, the latest build is version 1.1647. And I'm going to scroll down, and as you can see here, I have Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, and I have played this game quite a while, and that it runs perfectly well. So I have played this game since day one release, and it runs perfectly in ryujinx emulator since the day that it was released. So as of today, the game is now fully optimized and it runs perfectly in PC. So what you need is that you'll need to install ryujinx emulator, and that you have all of these files here installed into your ryujinx emulator, because ryujinx emulator alone cannot play Nintendo Switch games without all of these files here that I have in my desktop. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to teach you where to get ryujinx emulator. To do this, just open a web browser, just type in ryujinx emulator and hit search. And ryujinx.org is their official website. Click on that. Then go to download. And if you're using a Mac device, then your Mac OS should be in Mac OS 11 or later version in order for you to install ryujinx. And if you have Linux, you can download the installer here. And if you're from Windows, you can download the Windows installer here. The download and installation process is really easy to do. And I'm just going to skip on this part because the installation process is really straightforward. So I'm going to minimize that. And I'm going to assume that you have already installed ryujinx emulator. So if this is your first installation, boot up or run ryujinx emulator now. And then you'll be met with certain errors saying that you will need some certain files installed into your ryujinx emulator. So what are those files? So those files are these files here that I have in my desktop. So I have two Nintendo Switch keys here, both version 15 and also version 16. And the firmware version should be in version 16 too, because the keys and firmware doesn't have the same files, because the 16 version does not have the title keys. So it will need the title keys from the 15. Now, your Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet should be in XCI file format so that it will be detected in ryujinx. And that you have the update files for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet so that you'll be able to play it into its latest version. So if you're asking me where to get all of these files, legally speaking, you can only get these files if you own a Nintendo Switch console and that you have modded your console and then you have installed a custom firmware in it. Because if it has a custom firmware installed in it, that means that you can access your Nintendo Switch system files. And once you have access on that system files, then you can just copy all the Nintendo Switch keys and firmware file into your PC. And in order for you to get Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet game, you should own the game, you should buy the game, and you should digitally back up that game into an XCI file format. So that's the only legal way that you can get the game, is that you buy it and you own it. Okay, so if you don't have a Nintendo Switch console, or if you have a Switch but don't know how to mod or install a custom firmware in it, then I'm just going to save you the hassle and teach you where to get all of these files. And in order for you to get all of these files here, I'm just going to minimize ryujinx, and I'm just going to put a QR code here wherein you can scan it with your QR code reader. And once you scan it with your QR code reader, you will be redirected to the download page wherein you can get all of these files. So be sure to scan it with your mobile phone. So once you are on the website, which is approms.com, hover down to the middle part of the page so that you'll get Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet in XCI file format and all of these updates. Download them, put them into your PC, and once you have done that, download the keys and firmware file, which you can see them into the bottom part of the website. So be sure to check out the entirety of the website so that you'll be able to download all of these files here. Okay, so I'm going to assume now that you have downloaded all the files and that you have a copy of it into your PC. To do this now is to open ryujinx now and update your ryujinx emulator and install all of these files here. Now go to File, go to Open ryujinx folder, and go open System folder here, and then open the version 15 keys and drag and drop all of these files here into that folder. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. This folder should be empty because it's your first installation. And go to the version 16 keys and copy the production keys here. So just transfer that down so that it will update the product keys to version 16. And once done, close that. Now the next step now is to install the firmware. To do this, just go to Tools, go to Install Firmware, install a firmware from XCI or zip file, then locate your firmware file, which I have here set in my keys firmware. Now hit open. Once you have located that, install it, and it will say hit yes, and it will say successfully installed. Now, to know that it is successful, you will see that the system version will show the firmware version, which is version 16, and it will show your Nintendo Switch games and the game icons for those Nintendo Switch games. And if you see a black icon or blank icon, that means that your Nintendo Switch firmware and keys are old versions, so that will not be able to play that game, okay? So be sure to update your firmware and keys all the time so that you'll be able to play the latest and most updated game from the Switch. So what's the next step now? The next step now is to update your Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. For an example for this video tutorial, I'm going to go to Pokemon Violet and then right click on the title and then manage title updates. As you can see here, I have the updated file. But if you don't know how to do this, just go to add and then locate your firmware. Locate the game update for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So for me here, there's Pokemon Violet, and I'm just going to click on that update and add. Since I have already done that, I'm just going to remove the older one. Okay. And once done, hit save. Now your Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet will be updated to the latest version. Now the next step is to optimize your ryujinx emulator so that you'll play this game with no glitches, no bugs, and it runs perfectly on it. Okay, go to options, go to settings, and in this part, just pause the video and copy my settings here. So just copy everything that you see in your screen now. In the game directories, this is where you can put anywhere your Nintendo Switch files into your PC as long as you know where you put them, and that the game should be in XCI or NSP file format for ryujinx emulator to detect that game. Now go to input. It's better to use a controller rather than mouse and keyboard because that is really hard to do while playing Nintendo Switch games. So I'm just going to connect my Nintendo Switch Pro controller now. So I'm just going to connect them via USB, or you can do that via wireless or Bluetooth. I'm going to connect now and hit configure for player 1. And it will detect your controller from here. So if you have a PlayStation or Xbox controller, you can just map them up according to your liking here, but the dead zone should be set in 0.20% so that there will be no drifting into your playthroughs in playing Switch games. Once done, hit save. Now go to system. Now just copy everything that you see here. Okay. Now go to the graphics tab. So this is the most important part. Now graphics backend multi-threading should be on. Graphics backend should be in Vulkan. Preferred GPU is your dedicated graphics card. And in the enhancement tab, enable shader cache and enable macro HLE. Resolution scale should be in 2x resolution so that the game will look much sharper and much more beautiful. But if your PC cannot handle that, then you can use the native resolution for the Switch. But for me, 2x resolution because my monitor is a 1440p monitor. Post-processing effect should be none. Upscale is bilinear. Anisotropic filtering should be auto. Aspect ratio is in 16:9. And once done, hit apply and save. Now your ryujinx emulator is now fully capable of playing Nintendo Switch games, fully optimized with no glitches, no bugs, and no issues in running Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet games. So that's how you update your Pokemon Scarlet, and that's how you optimize your ryujinx emulator so that you'll be able to play this game. So a little bit of disclaimer, I'm going to show you a gameplay of Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet in my PC because we all know that Nintendo is really strict on this kind of content and they don't want it to be shown on the internet or in YouTube. So if I show you this gameplay running Pokemon Violet in my PC using ryujinx, then my channel will be taken down and my videos will be taken down. So to save myself from that hassle, I'm not going to show you guys, but I am willing to show you a little bit of boot up in the title screen so that there will be proof that this video tutorial is working. So in this guide, I'm going to be using Pokemon Violet and I'm going to boot up that game into the title screen. Once I am in the title screen, I'm just going to stop the emulation from there, okay? So I'm going to click on that. Okay, let's wait for a bit. It's starting to load the shader cache for Pokemon Violet. And here we go. So I'm just gonna blur the screen here so that Nintendo will not hit me with any copyright strike. So now I am the title screen of Pokemon Violet and it runs well. Now I'm gonna stop the emulation now. So as long as you have followed all the steps that I've shown you in this tutorial, guys, then you'll be able to play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with no issues at all. So if you have some questions or you have issues regarding the installation process of Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet into your PC, then just leave a comment in the comment section below and I will try my best to answer all of them. Please do subscribe to my channel. This will help me out. Thank you for watching. See you next time and goodbye for now.